mean just one thing. It is time for the goRIA live stream. And with us today, as you can see, we have Samantha Russell, who is the Chief Evangelist over at FMG. Samantha, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. And we're going to get back with Samantha in just a moment. But first, a little housekeeping. One thing I really want to share with everyone, which we have been quite a bit, and I'm super excited about, June 13th. The date is official. The registration link is active. We are going to be having, as I like to say, not our first ever, but our first in a while, goRIA Virtual Summit / Masterclass. So if you're listening to this, you probably are an advisor thinking about going RIA, whether you want to build your own or tuck into an existing one. I promise you, June 13th is something you're going to want to mark down. It's going to be a half-day virtual masterclass, easy to get to. And we're going to talk about everything you're going to want to know generally, but also specifically about going RIA. Again, whether you want to build your own or tuck in, we're going to have folks like Jamie Hopkins, Diana Cabrisi, Dr. Preston Cherry, as well as a lot of other big names. Oh, Natalie Wolfson confirmed that she's going to be our keynote, right? CEO of Orion. So we're super excited about the lineup. And what I will promise you on that day is going to be a great deal of specificity, right? So have your pen and paper or spreadsheet handy, and we're going to let you know what you're going to want to think about as you're making your decision to go RIA. And offline, I was talking with Samantha, and it looks like she might be kind enough to join us for our fall summit. So stay tuned on that. With all that said, that's not why we're here today. We're here today, as we always are on Wednesdays, to talk about what is new on www.goria.com. And what is new is the podcast that I recorded just about 2 weeks ago, with Samantha. And she was kind enough to share with us the 10 mistakes you do not want to make when you are creating your website. Now, it's non-denominational. We know that broker-dealer advisors have websites too, but we add a lot of specific content on taking advantage of your newfound freedom that you'll have in the RIA space. So with all that said, Samantha, without giving away the entire show, what are a couple of tidbits you could share with the audience today on why they should tune in?
I was so excited about this episode because I think we really were able to give very, very specific guidelines. I think anyone who listens to this will be able to write down 10 things and go back and audit their own website and say, oh, no, didn't do that, or I need to change this, and know actually how to change it, which is so crucial. One of the top things, that we talked about was the you versus I or we language, right? So when we look at marketing messages in general, but specifically on websites, it seems like when someone comes to an advisor and they're like, okay, well, you need to talk about yourself on your website and your services and what you offer, all of a sudden we start, we get a little nervous. We go into that formal language that maybe we were trained on in college, and we forget that we're just communicating with another person. We stop talking like people talk, and we start writing in this formal voice that's really stuffy, that does nothing to drive connection. And it's all about us. We have 20 years of experience. We help clients do this instead of framing it as you language. So you are probably worried about X, Y, and Z, or you struggle to get these things done. And so painting a picture for people of what problems that they currently have, and then talking about how you provide solutions to those problems. So I really loved being able to dig deep into that with you in the episode.
All right. Well, I think that's a real good teaser right there. And there were 9 other things equally as good. And I tell you what, I was taking notes myself. And what I tell folks all the time, I love doing this because I love talking about this space, but I'm doing research for my own firm, right? So what better to have a one-on-one conversation with Samantha Russell about the website? And there were at least 2 things that we've already taken action on since we've done this podcast.
Wow,
so
that's
thank you
great.
for that. Thank you for that. So for those of you in the audience, I would strongly encourage you, as you're mapping out your blueprint to going RIA, marketing is a big piece of that, and the newfound freedom to market more as you want in the RIA space, as opposed to sometimes the confines of the broker-dealer world, is something you want to take advantage of. Okay, that's all we really need to do here for today. So check out the full episode. Easy enough to get to. Go to www.goria.com. And while you're there, up on the top, you'll see a tab that says either, I should know this, but it's either webinar or events. Or if you're on your mobile phone, it's one of those hamburger deals. Click that, either webinar or events, I forget which it is. And you could register right now for the June 13th half-day masterclass. And that's going to be worthwhile as well. So with all that said, Samantha, thanks for joining us. And thanks for doing this podcast. I personally got a lot out of it, which I appreciate.
It was so fun. Thanks for having me.
You bet. All right. And on behalf of goRIA, fueled by Investment News, I'm Chuck Vela, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us. Take care.